The wealth you so desperately seek already exists. The prosperous life God desires for you isn't a distant dream. It's a promise waiting to be fulfilled. So why isn't it enough for you? The answer is simple. There are 6 inner blocks, 6 patterns of behavior that the Bible calls sins and that Napoleon Hill identified as invisible, thieves of wealth. Until you remove these blockages, abundance will remain blocked, despite all your learning, effort, and acceptance. It's like plugging a hole. The harder you try, the emptier it becomes. These sins rob you of life energy, rob you of your purpose, and trap you in a cycle of frustration, lack, and loss of identity. But there is a solution. In this video, I'll clearly explain each of these 6 sins and show how they silently undermine your chances of prosperity. And for each obstacle, I'll give you a practical key to action, discipline and self-control, that will allow you to shift your mindset and unleash the flow of prosperity. You will discover why procrastination, hollow desires, fear disguised as caution, the victim mentality, self-centeredness, and ingratitude are not just behavioral flaws, but true spiritual prisons. You will learn how to replace them with courage, faith, deep gratitude, and a sense of responsibility, and how to activate the law of the harvest to achieve victory, success, and financial freedom. So, if you're ready to stop procrastinating, stop making excuses, and start living the prosperity you already deserve, stick with it. Every minute of this content can make the difference between staying stuck in the cycle of lack and living the richer, more meaningful life God has already planned for you. At the heart of every strategy is God's promise of prosperity. From the beginning, Scripture makes it clear that prosperity is part of the inheritance of God's children. It's not just about money, it's about fulfillment, health, relationships, meaning, and legacy. Napoleon Hill came to the same conclusion while studying the wealthiest people. Wealth is based on ancient spiritual and mental laws that honor self-realization, intelligent sacrifice, and just reward. The problem is that many still view wealth as a distant privilege. They view success as unattainable, even though it is actually attainable. It's like inheriting a fortune and never going to the bank to withdraw it. The abundance is there, but it's blocked by internal behaviors that sabotage the harvest. And financial freedom. It's not God withholding wealth, it's sin blocking its flow. These blockages masquerade as normalcy, procrastination masquerading as peace of mind, hollow desires that look like relief, fear disguised as caution, convincing victimization, self-centeredness disguised as self-esteem, and ingratitude that feels like a landfill. Each repetition destroys the foundations, robs us of vital energy, disrupts dopamine levels, and weakens discipline and confidence. The law of the harvest is infallible. Those who sow energy, discipline, kindness, and gratitude reap rewards. Those who sow excuses, complaints, and instant gratification reap delays. The field responds to seeds, not intentions. Many sow complaints. Prosperity is not a matter of luck. It is a daily choice based on intention and self-control. The promise is real, but it requires responsibility. God doesn't multiply hidden talents, but rather sows seeds. Prosperity is the fruit of choice and determination, not sacrifice. Before you reap abundance, face the enemies that pursue your seeds, and the first is present in almost all of them: procrastination. Now let's move on to the first sin, procrastination. It seems harmless, but it buries the talents God has given us. Every decision put off is a seed that never takes root. So it's been proven that thousands of people fail because they wait for the perfect moment that never comes. Time passes, identity weakens, and prosperity remains a promise. This sin masquerades as wisdom. I will wait until I am ready. When I have time, I will begin. At its core, it is fear in a new form. Tomorrow will be weeks, months, years of stagnation. It is as if I have a fertile field, and am holding back the seeds, waiting for the perfect rain. Those who love themselves reap the rewards of their efforts. Those who procrastinate lose the season. The problem isn't just timing. It's opportunities that don't present themselves, relationships that cool, talents that rust. Every time you prioritize immediate gratification over action, you reinforce a vicious cycle that sabotages self-control. Procrastination robs you of self-confidence, goals, and wealth. It feeds on cheap dopamine, endless scrolling, distractions, and short-term addictions. The mind gets used to easy rewards, And when something important comes along, it runs out of energy. And in the end, no one is proud of what they put off. Only what they did, even if it was scary. Repeated procrastination involves repeated failure. Procrastination is not rest. It is forgoing a ripe and long-awaited harvest. It is denying one's identity as an inheritance and accepting a life lived according to one's own calling. As long as it is cultivated, prosperity remains blocked. The good news is that there is a simple way to overcome this and reactivate life energy. And how do you beat procrastination? The secret isn't to wait for inspiration, but to take action. The 5-second rule is a powerful weapon. When you feel like you're putting something off, count down from 5 to 1 and take action. This break from inertia gets you moving. Quick, decisive decisions, as taught by Napoleon Hill, are the hallmarks of successful people. Use micro-actions. Instead of climbing Everest, take the first step. Read a page, write a sentence, send a message. Each small step generates beneficial dopamine, reinforces discipline, transforms your identity into yes, and creates a snowball effect. Small step, big reward. Replace the mental association of pain with the goal. Connect each task to its purpose. Financial freedom, legacy, impact, service, and value. Studying becomes an investment. Saving becomes a semifinal. Discipline becomes self-control and applied wisdom. The mind functions best when it perceives a true reward. Reprogram your identity. Procrastination reflects your image. Affirm, I act quickly. I honor my talents. I do not delay my harvest. Repeat this daily. Your reticular activating system, the filter that highlights your priorities, will look for clues to actions and opportunities aligned with your purpose. Finally, transform discipline into freedom. Make a pact with yourself. Tasks that take 2 minutes or less are completed immediately. Each time they are accomplished, self-confidence, determination, and a winning spirit are strengthened. Today's seeds produce tomorrow's harvest. Decide in 5 minutes. Act in 2, celebrate in 1. Excessive gratitude for progress leads us to the second sin, pornography and hollow desires. This addiction diverts vital energy, deprives creativity, and confines the mind to quick and sterile pleasures. He warned that misguided sexual desire becomes a silent thief of wealth. It is a mighty river that flows into the desert without irrigating the fields. Disappointment is the feeling of satiety. The body triumphs, but the mind remains empty. Over time, determination, courage, and discipline evaporate. What could create a legacy becomes fuel for digital fantasies. Businesses, relationships, and spiritual legacies are left behind. Identity suffers. And so does she. Living in hiding reinforces victimhood and subjugation. I have no control. Every setback undermines trust, damages relationships, and blocks opportunities. Those who don't control their impulses will struggle to control their wealth. For wealth requires self-determination and prudence. Productivity also comes at a price. Desires that could translate into learning, growth, and action are stifled by the desire for immediate gratification. Like procrastination, this sin steals time and overwhelms it. It deprives dopamine of what truly matters. The result is stagnation, frustration, and a weakening of identity. Ultimately, the problem isn't desire, but wasted energy. We were created for true connections, service, courage, and growth. As long as desire becomes illusion, abundance remains unattainable. It is time to redirect this power and transform our impulses into building, harvesting, and inheriting. This is the transmutation of life energy. The same force that draws us toward the void can be a source of creation, meaning, and prosperity. Imagine a working dam. Channeled, the current drives turbines, generates energy, and transforms cities. A disciplined pursuit leads to prosperity. It begins with self-knowledge. When the impulse strikes, pause and refocus. Jot down an idea, practice, study, start a project. By creating instead of consuming every time the impulse arises, you train your brain to transform desire into action. It's building a new identity, decision by decision, investing in true intimacy. Empty pleasures are meaningless. True connections breed trust, respect, family, and procreation. The energy lost in illusions becomes a force that helps us love, serve, and build something lasting. An emotional richness that sooner or later opens material doors. Program your reticular activating system. This brain filter highlights your priorities, clear goals, affirmations, and focused visualizations train your attention to recognize opportunities rather than distractions. The field has always been fertile. You'll simply stop looking at stones. Discipline is not drought, but channeling. Transmutation is about sowing energy into fertile soil, with serene and productive intention and faith. Each time you redirect your momentum toward creation, you prove to yourself that you are not a slave to dopamine, but an heir to a destiny. Inheritance multiplies talents instead of burying them. The third sin is subtle, fear disguised as caution. Exposed to the light of day, fear can even be beneficial. But disguised as caution, it becomes a prison. How many times have you said, "This is not the time to not invest, not to act or not to take a stand"? That voice sounds wise, but it paralyzes. God gave us courage, love, and self-control. These things are not worth buying. This hidden fear creates an illusion of rationality and buries talent. He observed, "Successful people make decisions quickly and stick to them. Unsuccessful people overanalyze and miss the opportunity." Opportunities don't wait. Time passes. Harvests are wasted. Life doesn't give every seed a second chance. Worse still, this fear is celebrated. How wise, they say, but it is the servant mentality that has buried talent through fear and lost everything. Hidden fear doesn't protect. It paralyzes. Although it is called wisdom, time flies and the harvest rots in the field. False security is costly. This pattern robs you of your identity. With every decision you postpone, you tell yourself, "I can't." Belief becomes habit. Habit becomes destiny. Instead of being a legacy, you become hostage to what-ifs. Those who love fear reap regret. Those who love courage reap multiplication, bravery, and confidence. At its core, there is a lack of practical faith. True wisdom values risk and moves forward. False wisdom values it and stands still. Prosperity comes not to those who bury their seeds, but to those who love with fear, trust, and act. How many harvests have you lost by hiding behind them? You haven't arrived yet. To reverse this situation, certain tools for overcoming fear are essential. First, use it as a compass. If it frightens you, move forward. Every adversity holds an equally valuable advantage. Ask yourself, what is this fear telling me? Often, it tells you the next step. The second scenario is the worst. Write down what could happen if you act. Fear is often 10 times greater than reality. Recognizing a tolerable risk demonstrates that paralysis is more costly than effort. Clarity muffles the noise. Courage takes its place. The third scenario is faith in action. A grain of mustard seed is enough. Faith is not the absence of fear. It means moving forward in spite of fear. Pray, confess, act. Each small step strengthens self-control, mindset, and the law of the harvest. Fear screams, but faith whispers with authority. Persevere. The fourth rule is to also apply the 5-second rule. You've made the decision, act. Naive analysis feeds the monster. Count from 5 to 1 and walk through the door. Over time, you'll train your brain to associate decisions with actions, not hesitation. Discipline is freedom. And finally, practice productive silence. Fear grows with the noise of opinions and comparisons, but it diminishes with prayer, reflection, and focus. Before making important decisions, ignore the noise, breathe deeply, listen for direction, and move forward with determination. Fear will not disappear, but it will not be an obstacle. It will become the engine of victory. We have reached the fourth sin, victimization, the most convenient and destructive trap. Those who blame the outside also blame the outside. As long as you believe your life depends on others, you are giving up your personal power. The Bible calls you an heir. An heir does not live like a slave. Seeing yourself as a victim seems logical. I lacked support. I didn't get my chance. It's an elegant explanation for inaction. As he said, those who do not fully assume their responsibilities condemn themselves to mediocrity. Without a half-personality, there is no harvest. Without a decision, there is no transformation. This undermines identity. Every time you blame someone, you tell your brain, "I am not in control." This robs you of self-confidence, self-control, and courage. The mind enters scarcity mode, waiting for external rescue. Meanwhile, talents rust, dreams are lost, and abundance slows. And yes, playing the victim may garner short-term attention, but the price is high. With every excuse, we sink deeper into the lie of stagnation. The law of the harvest is clear. Those who like to complain reap frustration. Those who like to take action reap transformation. Neutrality does not exist. Either you grow up or you start over. The solution is radical and simple: full responsibility. Instead of asking yourself, who stopped me? Ask yourself, what can I do today to make a difference? Gratitude replaces complaint. Intention replaces passivity. By taking responsibility, your identity as an heir awakens, and prosperity begins to flow. The fifth sin is self-centeredness, the me-first mentality. It sounds powerful, but it's blind. Those who care only about themselves miss the opportunities that come from service, cooperation, and connection. The message is clear: to be great, you must serve. Prosperity comes from the value you offer, not just from what you keep. He discovered the power of genius, the unification of minds around a single goal. The egocentric has no access to it. He believes he can succeed alone. The result: isolation. Less collaboration, less multiplication. The ego promises greatness and breeds scarcity. He who cannot add subtracts. The ego also distorts wealth. Accumulating without purpose is like building a sandcastle. It's why so many rich people end up empty-handed. Prosperity without commitment is vanity crumbling. Values without a legacy don't guarantee success. They don't create a spiritual legacy. Moreover, self-centeredness drains life energy. The relentless pursuit of recognition, a dopamine rush of likes, endless validation. Fear increases, courage diminishes, and the fear of loss dominates. At the same time, true wealth, generosity, gratitude, and impact remain blocked. Ego imprisons, service liberates. The shift is obvious. Trade ego for service and intentionality. Instead, ask yourself, what's in it for me? Ask yourself, what value can I bring? Service is not about destroying yourself, but about multiplying your talents in the right area. Every time you bless someone with your gifts, you activate the law of the harvest in your favor. The reward comes at the right time. The sixth sin is ingratitude. This means turning off the faucet of prosperity with one's own hands. Those who live in complaint bring poverty upon themselves. Faithfulness in small things prepares the way for the great harvest. An ungrateful person despises what they have and hinders their growth. Complaining vehemently and expressing gratitude opens doors. Ingratitude distorts vision. The reticular activating system, the brain's filter, begins to focus on flaws and problems and ignore opportunities. It's like walking into an orchard and seeing only dry branches. This mentality drains life energy, fosters a victim mentality, and weakens faith. Gratitude, on the other hand, opens our eyes to the already ripe fruit. It undermines the identity of the complaining heir and makes us forget our spiritual heritage and the value of each seed. By focusing on what's missing, we lose confidence, determination, and the joy of the process. We live in comparison, observing our neighbor's field and neglecting our own. Practice conscious gratitude and aggressive gratitude. Celebrate small successes, be grateful for the invisible, and acknowledge difficult processes. This habit changes your mindset, strengthens discipline, increases self-confidence, and promotes multiplication. Gratitude is a spiritual strategy and a fruitful practice. Ingratitude may seem harmless, but it silently sabotages prosperity. Gratitude is the key to abundance. By giving thanks before seeing, you activate faith, trust, and intention. In this state, the harvest abounds and overflows to those around you. Now that these 6 sins and their keys are clear, the question remains, what will you do with this knowledge? Wisdom turns into action. It is not enough to recognize procrastination, vain desires, or ingratitude. These patterns must be eliminated with courage, discipline, and faith. Think about it. How many opportunities have you missed out of fear or a sense of victimization? How much time, energy, and determination have you wasted on excuses and instant gratification? The past is immutable, but the future is before you. What you sow today, decision, action, service, courage, determines your reward. The Bible and Napoleon Hill agree that wealth is the fruit of discipline, faith, and conscious action. Those who practice self-love, gratitude, courage, self-control, and self-help inevitably reap abundance, meaning success and financial freedom. This is not magic. It is the law of the harvest, applied wisely and prudently. So the choice is yours. Live like a victim, stuck in a rut, or take responsibility and take the first step. Every action is a seed that has the potential to multiply. Don't wait for ideal conditions. Start with what you have, where you are, in productive and conscious calm. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join me. You'll learn principles of wisdom, mindset, transformation, and prosperity that will strengthen your identity and spiritual legacy. Prosperity already exists. The question is, will you be able to access it today?